Hey y'all, we here. We here.
Hello.
2 weeks in a row.
2 weeks
Two
in a
weeks in a
row.
row.
Yeah.
Gosh.
They happening next week, but 2 weeks in a row this week. So hey, welcome to the Coily Crowns. I'm Enshante.
And I'm Lori, and welcome to our Queendom. We're here. We ready to talk about this finale, y'all. Come on now.
Whew. We made it to the end. We made
Talk
it to the
about it.
end.
We did. We did.
So,
We did.
okay. Last week we made some predictions, right, on who we thought was going to say yes and no. So as we talk
Okay.
about, we'll go couple by couple. So as we talk
Yeah.
about them, we'll then reveal what the decision was, and then what our prediction was, and whether we were right or wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Let's start. I say let's start with the easiest couple there was. Oh Lord, why I went blank real quick. Quentin and Janelle. There we go.
Okay. Okay.
I mean,
Uh,
I
what
thought
were
that was the easy.
they? It was meaning the decision, right? You're just saying just the
Mm-mm.
decision. Okay. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. They decided to choose each other. They've been locked in since like day 3 or something, very
Right.
early. So I'm not surprised that they say yes, but I'm just like I don't feel it. I don't feel no butterflies. I don't see no future. I don't understand what is happening. I really go back to, I think, a couple episodes ago that we've had. What are y'all talking about that you don't know nothing about each other other than how they look? Like, what? I don't, why are you surprised that he wants 3 kids? Why are you surprised that she ain't gonna go for that? Why is there this big shock and awe at this point?
All valid questions. I mean, this has been a weeks long progress
Weeks
process, right? And
with
if
just
y'all
y'all
been
two. It's not even
in
like
it
they were toeing
together
the
since the
line.
beginning, right? Like y'all should so be so much farther ahead in the discussions about things. And like you saying, the number of children that probably should have came real early. Like the whole talk of having kids or not. Okay, well, how many do you want? How many do you want? You've talked about adopting, so why wouldn't that a number come out? So it does, it is puzzling to be like, how is this stuff just coming to surface? What are y'all talking about? And this came about through, I mean, it's been weeks long from other meetings with families, but this week the guys met with the girls, their family members. So her cousin was there. That seemed like that was a real quick, I don't know, lunch date or whatever meeting.
Yeah.
It just seemed like he sat down. That was the only thing they talked about. And then he left. So I was just like, what's going on? Why? Like, did they not have anything else to talk about? Did they just frame
Nothing.
it and, cut
Nothing.
in?
Nothing. Nothing. You look cute. Oh, you look cute. Okay.
But no, with the cousin being there, I'm saying, like, the cousin didn't ask more questions about him. Like, it only talked about the whole kids thing.
Yeah.
And that was like, and it's a wrap. And then they were done. It just seemed like you would have thought it would have been a little bit more, the cousin would have asked more questions. And again, he probably did, but they only
They
showed
didn't
that.
show
And
much.
partly because again, that's been the reoccurring kind of like theme between the two, is like the whole age difference um and the kids and that whole thing. But as Lori said, they both at the end said yes. Last week we both predicted that they would say yes, and so no surprise there. But it'll be interesting next week at the reunion to see if they are still together. We did both predict that it's not gonna last. It might last as long as until this reunion. Don't know how long ago that was shot, but as in like something really happening for months, years later, yeah, I think we're still on the same page to think that's not gonna happen. Okay. So, hey, we have a viewer. Hello, Motown investor. And she says, I doubt they are still together as well. At least we're not on our own thinking that, because we don't see it. All right. I feel like I'm in this by myself right now because someone's on mute, but
Oh, I'm
we'll
sorry. I
move
was letting
on.
you talk because there's a lot of noise going on, but I am here with you. See, I
Okay.
responded in the chat. I agree. I concur all the things, okay? Because and then okay, I don't want to get too far though, because we saw a preview
It's just
of
a
the reunion. So we could do that at the end maybe about like the little preview that they showed about the reunion. Did you see that?
yes.
Okay.
I think I know
So
what
we
you're
could
alluding to with the feathers.
Let's talk about it at the end.
No?
Let's talk about it.
Okay.
Okay. So yes, so they say yes, they're happy. Yeah, 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 yeah. Moving on. Let's go to the next couple. Okay. So we have Marie
Oh,
and Kat and Jessica.
and
Right.
Jessica. Hmm.
So Marie, I don't know what he be wearing. I just be like, Marie, what?
Wait, which outfit you talking about? Both
Both.
or
Three.
both?
Let me not say both. All three of them. All three
Oh,
of them this episode. I
it was
was
the
like,
tie
what
at
is
the end for me, but okay. It was definitely some. He has some interesting choices. It makes me go back to that. What was the improv class? And he came in with the overalls and was like, "Sir,
oh yes.
why made you?
Yes.
What made you choose to put that on?" Yeah,
I don't
he
know.
does have some interesting choices there. But okay, so he meets up with Kat and her cousin. Um, and I don't know what to say about that. Like,
I
Kat
like
was
the
just in
cousin.
the room, huh?
Yes, but I like the cousin. I like that she was going in on the questions. Like she looked like she was fully engaged
Shoot,
to be
rapid
like,
fire. Hmm.
let's get to the nitty gritty here. You talking about, okay, you're down to the final two, right? Let's see if you really would like cat. At least cat, the cat that I've known, not TV cat, but like real cat. So she was going in, which I appreciated. She told this man to stand up, because I know you're short. Stand up. He was like, stand up. Now
Like
you
he
the
didn't know
cat,
where that
stand
was
up.
going.
I was like, this girl just asked this man to stand up. He
Had
was
them
like, it's
standing next to
okay.
each other.
I
He's
can
like,
cover
"Oh,
for
she want
you.
to see the height difference."
I was like, go ahead, cousin. Get up. Get up. He was just like, I'm fine with that. That's okay. That's oh my
I
goodness.
mean, she was like I was saying, unlike Janelle's cousin, who they didn't show again, like the questions. She came in like, okay, this is my cousin. I got her back. I need to ask the hard questions. Like, what is up with this? What is the real relationship between you and the mother of your child? Like, is that really, and it was valid questions, real questions that should have been answered. Probably should have been asked. Probably should have been asked by Kat. But it's good to
Absolutely.
have your cousin to have your back too um to ask those questions as well. But at the end, I I don't know. So last week I was kind of like, eh, which one he's gonna choose? I thought he would maybe choose and go the I don't know. I feel like that would be the easy route for him to choose Cat.
To choose
Um,
cat. Oh, okay. He don't
yeah.
like cat though. He don't even like Jessica.
I mean, I just feel
He
like
don't
they
like them.
wouldn't have gotten
They
this
don't like
far if there
him.
was something there. Is it all just for
What?
TV? Is that what?
What's there?
I'm asking, like, some kind of
Oh,
chemistry, something like I like you, you like me. You don't think none of that is there, or no?
I don't
Just
see it.
all for
I don't know what it's
okay.
for. I don't know what it's for. It could just mean like I want to see how this progress a little bit. Let's date some more. But I don't see how they align. I don't see the alignment of anything. Like they not on the same page the way how they presented it to us. Of course, we only see a snippet. We're not on their phone calls and all that kind of stuff. But all the stuff that they like show, it doesn't seem like it aligns. Jessica says she ain't going nowhere. Kat looked like she lost, like she don't know what's happening. Like, oh, I guess he
She
seems nice. Like, but I don't see no spark. I don't see no excitement. I don't see nothing. And
I
then,
totally agree with all of that. Like in comparison to say Janelle and the Quentin, where it seemed like okay, they might genuinely really have attraction and
mhm,
chemistry there. It's not enough to sustain a relationship, but they have that versus yeah, with him and these two, nothing's jumping off the screen. Like
mm-mm,
it's just like what is it? But again, I thought that him and Kat from previous episodes and them discussing with family stuff, they just seem to be a little bit more in line aligned than Jessica. So to
mm,
your point about moving, Kat was like, yeah, that's nothing. That's something I could consider.
mhm.
Whole spirituality versus religion. She was like, okay, so those are some of the things that seem to that they align with more. Um, but don't necessarily mean that they had something really going on and there was some chemistry and all of that there. So okay. Well, then he ended up meeting Jessica's who do you mean? Who was just was it Jessica's
Her
who's with Jessica?
sister, and they were talking about how they don't cook.
That was her sister. Okay. Yeah. Like that's the only thing you remember that they couldn't cook.
Yeah, I don't. She seemed like she was just cool. Like she wasn't asking any hard questions. That Jessica was like, "Wait a minute, y'all done clicked up already? Like y'all going after me or whatever?" So that seemed like it was an easy conversation. I didn't see any big red flags, but I do want to go back to Kat
Oh, okay.
and what he was talking about his child's mother and how he had control over the whole situation. And I'm like, do you though? Do you? I saw something sideline on the blogs or vlogs or
Okay. How
whatever
about to say what
that
makes you think he, doesn't? I don't know if control is the accurate word to use
because he
there to
don't have
describe that,
control.
but oh,
Exactly. No one has full control over their child
mm,
and the other person's feelings about something. You can't tell me that you can control if your child's mother doesn't like somebody. Like you can control like making sure that she understands your like her role in this, but you can't control her feelings on how she thinks about somebody else. How you going to do that? That's
right.
weird.
I think that's a good point to bring up and talk about because he kind of evaded the question a little bit. Like,
Mhm.
really, and it's a good question. What would you do if your child does not like your partner?
Right, that's a big
Um,
thing.
yeah, he didn't really answer that. Then the whole thing about the mother, which okay, you can have not care as much because it's none of their business, but
Right.
there's going to be interaction. There's going to be involvement at
Exactly.
some point. So yeah, how do you handle that? Have you not had to
Right.
handle that in the past? Like at least
Yeah,
give
I like
some
it.
indication of what and how you think you would approach that. But he didn't. Yeah,
Yeah.
the whole going to the control part is like, yeah, you don't have no
Mm-mm.
control
And
over
then
nobody.
if you are active father, like how he is portraying himself to be, where every doctor's appointment, school events, everything, he is there, and so is the mother there, then how are you going to deal with all of that? Right. And then you're going to
Mhm.
say at the age of 12, you're gonna have full custody and you're gonna be living abroad?
Oh
Have you actually had that
yeah.
conversation? Because he's like, oh yeah, yeah, she knows it's a rite of passage, blah blah blah. But does she know that she's gonna take her child and take him across the country? Is she coming? Like, what is? I would have all the questions. Like, what's going on here?
Yeah, he did just kind of slide it up in there, talking about when he turns 12, he's coming to stay with me and all that. And where you going? I don't know. I can't remember how old the child was, but so you just gonna take them out the country and like
A
what?
mess.
Yeah,
A mess.
this
What did
let's
Motown
get
invest?
messy. Run,
He
cat,
said
run. Huh?
that Sierra Leone is super dangerous. Nobody planning to move there.
Who said that?
The chat, Motown investor.
Oh,
Uh, I he said two countries, which also made me not doubt, like made me doubt him heavily. He said Ghana and Sierra Leone,
Ghana.
and I was like,
Can
"Sir,
you have three
sir,
citizenships like that?
sir, are you? What does working on mean?" He asking so many questions, he'll be over me. Like, what have you started your application? Did you submit anything? Are there funds involved in this starting to work on dual citizenship, or are you just talking? Because at this point, you
It's
just sound like you
expensive.
just talking.
I believe he probably is. It's all talk. Just back to like what you're saying, he talking about being so active in the community and all of this. What are you doing? It's just it just seems like it's all talk. What exactly are you doing in the community? Why haven't
Right.
like one of the dates been like going to what you do in the
Feeding
community or something like
somebody,
that?
do yes, instead of eating cheeseburgers and wearing overalls, sir. And I'm sure they
Mm-hmm.
have control. They can do certain things if he really wanted to do it. So what are we doing? Isn't he the one that did the improv date? Isn't it that they said he planned it, sir? Anyways, sorry.
Yeah.
Okay. So we
So
get to the end.
interesting.
They have in the start of the montage, Kat is walking in as if she's gonna go meet someone. I guess they filmed this whole walk in with everybody, even though she does not meet Morier at the end, which is, I guess
Mm-hmm.
that was supposed to be like a surprise, like, oh, you never know who it's gonna be. And then they were both wearing black, and I was like, okay, they trying to trick us. I don't like
So that
this.
was interesting because I remember in the past episode when it was like that, it was like one person had two that they didn't know and they were making a decision. They met with both of them. That's what I
Oh,
remember.
really? Oh,
Am I
okay.
wrong? Am I making this stuff up? But I thought I remember that they met with each one and they would say like, it'll be separate shot separately, of course, but it'll be with this
Mhm.
one person. They say, no, I choose this other person. Then they go to the other person and they say yes or
Oh,
what have you. That's
maybe
what I
they cut it.
remember.
Maybe they did it
Because it was
because they have a shot of her walking, like just like
walking in.
everybody else, but they don't show them interacting and him telling her no, which is like, okay, I guess, all
Yeah,
right.
I was surprised because I was like, well, wait a minute. When it ended, like, what happened to Kat? Oh, so it's not obvious. Kat was no. But we didn't say who he did, what he did say with Jessica when he met with her.
Yeah,
And he said yes, he chose Jessica. Um, okay. And then Jessica said what, Lori?
Jessica awkwardly said yes too, and they both took these weird awkward shots of them pretending to like each other, and she didn't even want to kiss him. They hardly was touching, and I was like, what is happening? Why are we doing this? Why are we doing this?
Did they actually kiss? I saw a forehead kiss.
No,
That's it.
they did not kiss.
Oh,
That's what I said.
that's like
He went in for a kiss and she turned her head like this. So he kissed like right here. And then they took these little montage hug things, but it was like he wasn't really hugging her. And I was like, this, what is, why? Just say no. And then he brought these huge flowers that was probably taller than him. And I was just like, why? Where's she didn't even hold them? She never held them. He held the flowers the entire time. This was just yikes. Okay. Sorry.
Yeah, so I just totally did not see Jessica saying yes to him. So that really caught me off guard. Like I said, I thought he would have chose Cat. So last week I predicted he would have chose Cat. Cat would have said no.
Mm-hmm.
That didn't happen.
What did
So
I
he ended up
say?
choosing.
I don't know what I said.
Lori said you said he would choose Jessica, but Jessica would say no.
Okay. Yeah. This is a mess.
So did not see that one coming. But okay. But yeah, I would like to see. I guess we'll hear Kat side next week. But like, just like that little bit of her saying how she felt about the situation, what would she have said? Right? We don't even know what she would
Mm-hmm.
have said in this
Mm-hmm.
situation. So I hope they do, or they do ask that at the reunion. We'll see.
Mm-hmm. Child.
All right.
Mess.
Anything else with those?
Mm-mm. No.
We flying through. Okay, well,
Yes.
last but not least, we have Phil and our girl Aries.
Hey, Aries.
We know from these last few weeks that stability has been the word of the week, or for between the two of them. And of
Mm-hmm.
course, it came up again while he was meeting her family, her mom and her sister. Lord. That was a tough crowd
Phil.
for Phil.
Let me give Phil some props here because I feel like I've been a little hard on Phil. I think Phil is cool. I just feel like there's still something there that I'm not seeing full transparency from him, but it's a TV show. You don't have to tell me all your business. But he be coming through with like he had the flowers and stuff like that. I think he should have gave the flowers to his sister, to her sister and his mom, her
And the
mom,
mom, yeah.
instead of just giving it to Aries. Aries got enough flowers from you, so you could have just been like, "Oh, this one I brought it for y'all, Aries. You know I got you,
Mhm.
And so I like that he is, kind of trying to lay it on thick or start with a good impression coming in, right? So I'll give him his props for that. But I feel like he really doesn't understand where some of the angst is coming from. He's not picking up like the subtle cues that they're trying to give to him. I do feel like her mom and sister was just trying to push him to kind of standing up for himself a little bit, but they were also super old school. And I get people like
Mhm.
this, right? So they just feel like maybe the man should be super aggressive coming in, a little bit more forward, a little bit more um let me take charge kind of thing. Let me take the lead. And he's just
Yes.
not with that. And I don't think that is a knock to him. I just think that's his personality. And it's either you take it or leave it, right? You can't force somebody to be a leader. Like, I don't think that's going to work because then that's just not
And
what
that's
they want to
and
do.
that's going to work for some women who are just like,
Right.
no, you're not going to be controlling like that. I need to be involved. And so
Right.
yeah, it's not going to work for everybody. Now, I thought
Mm-hmm.
it was interesting that during that exchange they do the solo shot with Aries, and she was kind of like, it's the collaborative approach that she liked that. And I was just like, okay, so that works for her, even though her family, her mom may come from this, traditional old school way of thinking of the man needs to take leadership and be in charge, make decisions, or what have you.
Right.
But then later she seemed to contradict that. I was a
Right.
little
That's what I was
confused.
like, well, kind of, but I think I kind of get it a little bit, right? Because it's like
Mhm.
you want someone that you can co-facilitate with, right? But there is a level of respect that you give to someone that you feel is like just a tad bit above you, or like can make decisions without help. Like it's good to have that conversation, right? But sometimes you just need somebody to do something. And if you're always waiting on me to help you through something, then it's kind of like, I'm gonna need you to help yourself too. Because I feel like Aries is the type of person, when she's ready, she'll make a decision. She can make a decision and move forward without having a collaborative conversation. But then you want to have that
Mm-hmm.
in most of your decision making. But sometimes you gotta go. And I don't think she saw that in him, or at least a little a space of that, or a little piece of that in him. And then she just felt like maybe I wouldn't respect you in the long run. And I, tell that man how you feel, you know?
Best to know that and go with that now. Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly. So I respect her for that. That was my vote, girl. I was like, don't do it. Because I didn't see that. I didn't see her bending and being more on her feminine energy and just allowing him to move forward. I don't think she would be able to trust his direction. And then if that's what you're looking for, this ain't it. This ain't
He's
it.
not it. And he didn't
Mm-mm.
help his cause at all when they got into this whole discussion about him being a comedian. I was like, where'd that come from?
I
Why are
don't
you
know
basically
why you would
alluding
even
that
bring
that's
that
your
up.
career? Like, that's all you do. Like, of course, her mom and sister gonna be like, hell no, don't go with him. Everything all you got, and he a comedian. Like, ain't making no money. Like, yeah, there is no stability here. Yeah, no, that big
I
old
don't know what
no.
the purpose of
So
that was. First of all, I don't know what the purpose of that was. And I don't know what the purpose of him talking about being a Buddhist was in the space that he was in. Those conversations happen with Aries solely. And you figure out how she feels about it. You don't bring that up with her mama and her sister. And you already feel the energy. I just don't understand. Like, are you trying to sabotage yourself?
then what it seemed like? It seemed like he was trying to sabotage that interaction. Like, let me
But
make
then
it easy for
but
you
at
to
the
say no.
end, but he looked like he was shocked. So that's why I was like, maybe that's not, maybe he just,
So yeah, so fast forward to the end decision. Um, Nice gesture. He comes with this baseball that's
yeah,
in
that was so
embroidered in the
nice.
heart. Cause didn't I know Aries' dad was a what's that, a former baseball player and coach. So it was very
Hmm.
touching. It shows that they talk and he listened. At least we know they actually talked about some stuff. Um, and he chose her. He said yes. But then as we were talking about, Aries comes back and she says no and kind of starts talking about not being able to, she can see herself. Not that necessarily she's there now, at least that's how I would take it, but she can see herself not basically having respect for him because of, I think, going back what we said, him not being able to be that leader and take charge, have that take charge, kind of like personality within the relationship. So yeah, are you frozen? Am I frozen?
Are we
Okay. Oh,
freezing?
there you are. Oh,
Oh, okay.
you were frozen
All
on my
right.
end, so I don't know.
Okay. Sorry, it was freezing for a while, but okay. I think we're good now. Go ahead.
Okay. Um, I'm done. I've said my piece. What you
Oh,
heard
I'm
last?
sorry.
What's your final thoughts?
Oh well, I'll just say I was very proud that she didn't just use the gesture and the flowers and the yes to sway her. Like, yes, that's great. This is all sweet and everything, but no, it's a no for me because in the end, you know, you don't want to just say yes just to say yes, and then you already know and deep down in your heart this ain't gonna work, right? It's awkward, but it is what it is. So sorry, Phil. Sorry, Aries. you gonna find your person, I hope, out there.
Yeah.
It's not a lot of our counterparts though. This is the problem. So I don't know. And someone
She,
that
our girl.
go ahead. Sorry.
Oh no, I was just gonna just say our girl's 0 for 2 in this love
Yeah.
department in this dating show.
I mean, that first one was not real though. At least this was like a real candidate.
Oh, that needed to be, yes, that really was. uh, I got that don't count then. Yeah, we'll just go ahead and
It
switch that
don't.
on
This
out.
is just 0 for 1.
Okay.
So,
Oh boy.
but yeah, I was, happy kind of, I don't know. I'm still trying to go through season 1, and I feel like I had a lot more investment in season 1 at this point. I'm not done with it, but I was more invested in these couples just seem like a little lackluster for me. I just don't believe some of it, and I'm just like, okay, ready for love, I guess. Um, but yeah, I'm ready for it to be done.
Well,
So
it
finale,
is
here it is.
basically.
Yeah,
So yeah, so next week is the reunion show. I think they just do one. I don't think it's
I thought it
two.
was two. I thought it
Oh,
was
is it two?
two. Yeah, I thought it was two.
I
Let
don't
me
remember.
see.
Oh,
Well,
okay.
go ahead.
No, that was it. I'm about to just start wrapping up. But then you did say you wanted to talk about something with the
Yes,
reunion.
just
So
a little preview. So we go back to Tequila, and Tequila has on some feathers on her body, black and white feathers. I don't really understand it. But then her and Janelle again. Janelle, why? How old are you at this point? You're probably like 43. What are you
stop it.
doing?
You didn't skip no 2 years that quick.
Oh,
But
40.
remember
She's
last
41.
week,
Okay, 42. Sorry. Go ahead.
last week, you kept saying mean girl, how they calling her mean girl. So after you told me she had a whole line business thing, I went to look her up and she's
Hmm.
selling like bags that say mean girl on them. I'm like, is this new? Is she always had this?
Oh,
Is it
I
part
don't
of
know.
her who she is? She's just accepting it now. Cause like you said,
Mm.
last week she had like a little confessional and she was like, why are they always come after me? Like I don't do nothing. I just be sitting here just minding my business and all of
Okay.
that. And yet again, we have another example coming up next week of you getting into it with somebody else. What's the common denominator here?
You. Yeah, I can't see. Where do you find like new, like upcoming episodes? They don't have it on
I don't know.
but I thought it was 2 parts. I thought I heard that somewhere, but I could be wrong. Anyways, um, yeah, so that's coming up. They getting in a fight, so I guess we'll see if Maurier and Jessica are still together. I don't see that. We see if
And
Quentin
one of
and
the
Janelle are still together. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say one of the scenes when they were doing the preview, they were sitting far apart, Maria and Jessica. Don't
Oh,
mean nothing.
really? Oh, okay.
They were like there was like an extra person could have sat between them. They were so far apart, but don't mean nothing. I think again, reality TV, don't trust it 100%. It could have been staged
Mhm.
that way to make you think that. So we shall see. We shall see.
Mm-mm-mm. Yeah, it's part one.
Um,
It says part one.
Part one. Okay, so 2 more weeks.
Yeah. So we'll probably do it
Okay.
together since we'll
Yeah,
be
we'll
out
skip
next week.
next week.
So, mhm.
We'll skip next week, do the two parts reunion the following week.
Mhm.
Um and what else? Some just it just
Oh,
went right out my head. Okay.
about the
Never
reunion?
mind. I have no idea. It was a thought that
Oh.
came and quickly escaped. Mm, Oh well. So yeah, so that's what's happening. We'll be back in 2 weeks to review the two-part reunion. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, do that. hit the notification button so you know when we go live to do that last show. Have we decided? What happened?
Spoiling stuff in the chat. Go look in the chat.
I can't see it. Stuff's not coming
Oh,
up.
okay.
You mentioned something and I
I'll
can't
tell
see
you.
it.
I ain't gonna say it out
I
loud.
see
Y'all should
that.
have been in the chat. Y'all should have been in the
Okay.
chat. Come join us live.
I do see that comment. So that's interesting. Okay.
I
I didn't
thought,
go. Usually I
but
start
you know
following.
what?
What?
Because I watched, I gotta send you this video, but I've been listening to this lady, and she interviews all the Ready to Love people like during the
Mm-hmm.
season, and she had on Moyer and Chris on this interview, whatever. And they were going into a whole thing. Like he was calling Chris little boy, he was calling him a liar and all this kind of stuff. And I was like, I wonder if he hot because that's his girl. You ain't gonna come for his girl. So I don't know. He was real froggy. Him and Chris was going in. So no, we'll see.
Okay. Okay. Well, we will see next week then who's still together and who's not. Like we just got. I was gonna ask. Well, we already talked about it from last week. Who we still think gonna be together or not.
Oh
So
yeah,
we'll just wait and
I don't
see
know.
what happens
We'll see all
next week.
the action in the reunions, and then we'll come back and
Yeah.
discuss.
So, and we'll talk offline about, I guess, if we're gonna take a break or is there something else we want to start watching. You say you started watching Love Is Blind. Are we gonna review that one?
I did. Let's
I
see.
have not.
Oh, you don't want to do
Okay.
it? Okay.
No, I
We
just
don't
said I
have to.
haven't started watching it. I didn't even
Oh,
know
oh,
it
oh,
was
oh, oh.
out.
Yeah.
I did watch.
Let's see.
I did watch the last episode for the Where Are They Now, whatever you call it, for last season's Love Is Blind. So I did see what you were talking about with
Oh, yes.
Jackie and old
Josh.
boy
Josh
Josh.
and
Yeah,
and this random person that we knew nothing about. Yeah.
that's totally should have been into the storyline. Like it would have
Why
made it so much
not?
more juicier
Yes.
during that
Why?
season.
I don't know why. First of all, I don't know why. I'm sorry, y'all. We're on a whole different show. But I don't
Um,
know what it was with Love is Blind and Josh and Jackie. You heard they broke up, right? They
you
broke
sent me the
up.
video. I didn't watch it, but yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I
So
thought that's where it was heading when old girl was talking at the end of that episode. Like
I thought so too, but then she went home with him. So that's why I was like, okay.
she ain't gonna
But
just break
for
up right down
some
the street.
reason, Love is Blind likes Jackie and Josh because them at the reunion, that was all softball questions. They didn't they could do a whole interview from home. They didn't have to have no interactions. That was weird. And the questions they were asking them, we found out nothing. It was just a waste of time. And then we find out this whole situation, and they just swept that away. They didn't even mention it. They didn't give no flashbacks. They didn't do nothing. And we know the show is
Nothing.
messy because they had the whole cutie situation where they put a whole montage of other people's stuff that they never showed previously. So
Yeah.
why did these two people get a pass? I was like, what
Good
is going
question.
on? So I
I
would have
mean,
loved
you
all of
want
this.
messiness. This is, what they call it, good TV or whatever. Like that should have been in the during the season. It should have came up during the reunion. And now just
Absolutely.
to be like this random chick just kind of shows up because most of that episode I was looking like it started with the flag football. I was like, who is that girl? What
Yeah.
is that? I was like, I don't know who these people are. So when they
Right.
do have that little get together and then she pops up and they're like, her and Jackie were good friends throughout the whole. They were?
Never
They
seen
did
it.
never
Nothing.
saw her before.
Nothing. I don't know. I don't know.
That real interesting. So okay, so they don't broke up.
They don't broke up.
Mm. Let's see how long
Which
that
and
if
then
that
they were
lasts.
like, people were like, they wonder if that whole moving in scene was all fake. Because if you think about it, They were moving into an apartment with 3 boxes of Christmas supplies. There weren't real
When was this?
clothes on the Oh, did you just watch the 4th one? The
I just
4th
watched the
Oh,
last one
okay.
since you said just watch that.
Yeah, that's all you needed anyway. But there
Oh.
was an episode before where they were moving in together for the first time. So it was at the year mark. And they were like, this is our big, transition. We're moving in together. And they had 3 boxes. And we were just like,
The moving
what is
truck
this?
hadn't gotten there yet.
Right. They didn't move in together. This was just, come on. Stop it. So, anyways, I'll be watching Love is Blind season 5. I blame you and my sister in law for getting me on this show. One of y'all got me on this show because I was just like, what? I don't want to watch this. And now I'm in. I'm hooked. Okay.
Yeah, no.
So I'll be watching. I don't know if we'll be
Okay.
reviewing, but we'll be watching.
Okay. So let me just
All
pop up
right.
and talk about
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So we'll see you guys in 2 weeks. Thank you, multi-investor, for tuning in and chatting with us. We hope to see you
Yes.
in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
We will talk about the reunion or send us some more spoiler alerts if you have any more.
Send it to
Other than
T.
that, then we will catch y'all next week. But before we leave, I want to remind you to do what?
Protect your throne. Bye.
Bye.